Good evening and welcome to the Poets Cafe. It is where artists come to life. The spoken word brings forth the inner creation of hidden treasure, expressing tones of lyrics felt within the soul, vibration that rings stories untold. This platform represents artists of all backgrounds, be it writers, singers, spoken word, artistic expression, and painting, literature, poetry, and a journey through life. Mystery seeks to bring new ideas and opportunities through the mind at all levels. Wherefore my time leaving tomorrow on the wings of yesterday, with birds fly higher than the mystery of dreams never knew. Why do mellow sounds ring silently without ever leaving memories of my lonely blues? We walk by the calls of nature, sing in harmony, pray for the love of the skies, and dance with the stars like a feminine ballerina gazing across the stage in her soft-toed ballerina shoes. Welcome to the Artists of Poetry Cafe show, Poetically Speaking, hosted by Terry Benjamin and Ron C. McCrae. As delighted as we are, we can't wait to engulf a new wave of presenting this platform to our audience. So, sit back and enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Now, let's get started.
Let's get started, and don't call it a comeback. Okay, that's the theme for today's program. Don't call it a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback, because what we're doing, we do it when you can't see us, okay? And again, good evening to everybody. This is Poetically Speaking with Ron and Terry, and we're glad to come to you again. And again, we have a very special program tonight because we're bringing back a former guest, which you'll probably recognize, and those who are seeing it for the first time will give you a little background. But Ron, I want to begin a little differently tonight. I was thinking about our success so far, and we've been successful. But I think what happens a lot of times, people don't understand that it's not by accident, okay? It's not by accident. And sometimes you have to really go within inside yourself to be successful.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you got to spend some time alone. And a philosopher back in the 1800s, a gentleman named Henry David Thoreau, wrote a book called Walden. And it was based on the fact that he went to a place called Walden Pond just to meditate, to write, and that kind of thing. And he went there and he wrote a book. And he has said something that I really think about myself, you know. And I want to start today with his quote. And this is a quote from Henry David Thoreau. And he says here, and I quote, "I learned this at least by my experiment, that if one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet with success, unexpected, and common hours." Okay? Again, what you imagine. And basically, Henry David Thoreau was saying that living a simple life could help people achieve a deep connection with the world and gain clarity and insight, and also assure success. Because again, I know that success leaves clues. You know, success leaves footprints. Success leaves roadmaps. And so tonight we're going to share with you our poetic journey, and we want to enlighten you about some things that we are doing, some things that we plan to do. Next month is Women's History Month, and we plan to bring on quite a few women that we know that we want to share with you. And even in today's Mind, Body, and Books, I have a special woman that I'm going to talk about. But Ron, again, as always, brother, I am so glad to have you on this journey with me. And what do you think about that? It says here that if one advances unexpected and in common hours. What do you think about that? You
and read in short that
please.
ties into.
Okay.
But I just wanted to say in short, because again, last week we talked about our legacy. Our legacy will continue to move forward as you continue to fulfill a dream and vision within yourself.
That's right.
And bring it forth to light. That's what it's all about.
That's right.
And so with that, again, our legacy. But we're not going back, but we continue to move forward with the understanding and appreciation of our legacy. Because without a legacy, you really don't have a future. And because you don't have a future sitting in the present, we're not here to comfort a dead zone. You can stay in the middle all you want. But scaring does not bring about the light of your dreams and vision. So let me just read these couple of things.
Okay.
And one of these is in reference to the Dr. Martin Luther King when he was in the Birmingham jail at that time. So I just want to read something. We're not going to get into the whole thing, but this is just a point I want to bring out.
Okay.
And here, that so many get caught up in today's society and the issues and concerns that's going on. But those issues and concerns been going on since way back when.
That's right.
So here it says, for example, the focus in this paragraph is about the white church. So listen very carefully. Let me rush on to mention my other disappointment. I have been so greatly disappointed with the white church and its leadership. Of course, there are some notable exceptions. I am not unmindful of the fact that each of you has taken some significant stands on this issue. I commend you, Reverend Starling, for your Christian stand on this past Sunday in welcoming Negroes to your worship service on a non-segregated who loves the church, who was nurtured in its bosom, who has been sustained by its spiritual blessings, and who will remain true to it as long as the core of life shall lengthen. I have the strength, feeling when I was suddenly catapulted into the leadership of the bus protest in Montgomery several years ago, that we will have the support of the white church. I felt that the white ministers, priests, and rabbis of the South would be some of our strongest allies. Instead, some have been outright opponents, refusing to understand the freedom movement and misrepresenting its leaders, the anesthesian security of the stained glass windows. I said that, read that because in a sense, it may not sound clear to you. It may sound like an issue. But the point is here, he's talking about what was going on back in the 60s, doing the focus on you to focus on the leadership of today is really non-existing. It really makes no sense for you to focus on that rather than focus on what you just expressed about following your dreams, your ideas, and moving towards your vision.
That's right.
That's what this platform, and this is what we try to encourage, and this is what we try to influence, and this is what we try to build on each and every time we meet. It's about following your dreams and vision. Fulfill.
Very famous letter, but take note where it was written. Okay, this is a letter from a Birmingham jail. Okay. David Henry Thoreau. This is a book from Walden Pond. So what that says to me is that really you have to take yourself away from all that's going on.
Right.
You have to find your dream, your vision in your solitude.
Right.
Okay. Dr. King talked about having allies from the white church.
Right.
Again, and he says, I'm disappointed. Because I thought you would come a little bit better than that.
Right.
But he had his dream and he had his vision. And number two, the boycott. The boycott was very strong by then, and now Target. Target is really catching heck because again, they said that they were for DEI, they were for inclusion and whatnot, and they reneged on that promise. And now they're paying the price because, again, don't call it a comeback. Because the boy
be in a better place today.
Yes.
No matter how you look at it.
That's right. And that's the thing. And that's why, again, as we come here on every Thursday and Sunday, Thursday from 6 to 7, Sunday from 5 to 6, we come bringing you food for thought. Again, we're not saying that we have all the answers because we don't. You know, and again, and I know as my brother will very much tell you, that we're going to have a lot of programs about growth and development. And I think one of the things about aging healthy aging, one of the things that we do is that really, if you want to age in a healthy manner, understand it's about lifelong learning. Okay, every day you should be learning something new, and sometimes what you have learned, sometimes you got to meditate on it, and that's what we do as writers.
Absolutely.
We have an idea, and then we meditate on that, and we come up with new works of art.
I'm starting to write myself out of my own space. I'm writing this right here on the computer, here and there. Every time I turn around, it seems like I'm behind my own stuff. You know, I can't catch up with the stuff I'm putting out.
Ain't that so?
You know, it's funny, but that's what it said. What you just said is about continuing to learn. It's about growing.
That's right.
As long as we are breathing, as long as we are here, no matter how our physical condition may showcase itself, but the fact is, are you inspired within you to do something that will be fulfilling? Because we are learning from each other, no matter what the situation may be.
And
young, middle, or seasoned. I always say seasoned, because there ain't no such thing as old now.
No. We're not old. We're seasoned.
We seasoned.
Seasoned.
You see, it just gets better with time. You know?
Oh, it does. You know it does. and you know it.
Absolutely. Let me read this, and then we can move forward into our wonderful guest this evening.
Yes.
Who's going to spark us with some fine stuff this evening.
Fine stuff.
Really. So sit back, relax, and get ready.
That's right. Get ready.
And I just want to read this to tie into what you just said. Visions and ideas. The dreamer are the survivors of the world. As a visible world is sustained by the invisible, so men, through all their trials and sin, and so did vocations, are nourished by the beautiful visions of their solitary dreamers. Humanity cannot forget its dreamers. It cannot let their ideas fade and die. It lives in them. It knows them as the reality which it shall one day see and know. Composers, sculptors, painters, poets, prophets, sage, these are the makers of the afterworld, the architect of heaven. The world is beautiful because they have lived. Without them, laboring humanity will perish. That's important.
Yeah, it is important because now you see the dreamers. Now, what I want you to hold that book up, because that book is not new. Okay,
As a Man Thinketh,
by James Allen. And when was this book published? Could you see in the front there, maybe? Because again, this is a classic. This is a classic book. And I tell you, as you speak to people who have a measure of success, you'll find in their library they have these certain books, and this is one book, As a Man Thinketh. This was written some time ago. But the message is still very relevant, because the dreamers are those who we need to really to plug into, And
here, as I'm reading, James Allen, 1864 to 1912. Then it comes back to, I think it was revised, and here is 2009. Then, up to 2009.
So to see this book has been around for some time, As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. And so again, I want you to read that book, because again, people talk about new books. Well, I mean, a new book is a book that you haven't read. And I know for myself is that every year I reread that book. And also another book that I read, a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, which is a book that was written around that particular time. And these books are really something that we need to look at, because again, they never grow old, especially if you haven't read them.
And and again, to tie in what you just said, this book been around a long time. Are you writing your story?
That's right.
Did you write the thought? Are you listening to the show and program? Are you taking ideas? Are you writing something down? Are you inspired who you are? And that's what's important. You have to be inspired by you. If you're not inspired by you, then how do you appreciate what somebody else have written in their story? We can introduce books all day.
That's right, yeah.
But we want to see and know that your book has been published too.
Yeah, because I was talking to my brother. I said, really, it's come to the point now where your book is your business card. A lot of times people want to engage with you, and you can give them a card, but that doesn't really say a whole lot. But if you have a book that you've written, they can really look at your ideas, and they can really see where you are as a person, as an artist, and they engage with you in that particular sense. That's why my brother has several books. I have some books out as well, as I will talk about in the coming weeks. But again, for me, that's where you really get to know a person's heart when you read their particular book.
And before you go on, here as an example, we see colors, your organic flavors of life. Look all around you. You can write your story because you're part of that.
That's right. That's
and
right.
Archaeological Cafe, discover who you are. There's hidden treasure inside of you. So these are two of mine, and I got 900 laying around where I just haven't put them together.
They're coming. They're coming. Thank you for sharing that, brother. Thank you so much. And so, is this the time that we pull back the curtain, and get in the suspense? Again, do we now bring our brother on, our young, dynamic brother that was here with us before, and he's back again. And I won't call it a comeback, because I know that although he hasn't been with us, he's been doing his work.
Absolutely.
And so, this evening, LJ the Angel. How are you, my brother?
I'm doing good. Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
Let me give you a proper. There you go. Okay. Want to make you feel comfortable, and again,
Right.
and thank you for coming back on the program. And I know that you have some new things to share with us. But I guess my biggest question. So how have you been? So what you been doing since the last time I saw you?
Since the last time you saw me, I don't remember exactly when it was. Maybe it was the end of January.
Yeah, it was something.
I've been doing a lot. I just recently had 2 shows this past weekend.
Oh, beautiful.
And those went extremely well. I debuted a new song called "Fist in the Air," which is for Black History Month.
Fist in the air. I like that.
it went really well. Like the performances, I got a lot of constructive, or not constructive feedback, but just a lot of good feedback from a lot of different people. So I was excited about that. I recently yesterday? Yeah, yesterday was Wednesday. I just put out another song this month. I'm trying to do 2 songs at least every month.
Okay.
So in January I had 2, and this month I had 2. So just trying to continue working on stuff and putting stuff out. And then this next week I have a few more performances, one on the 28th, well, one tomorrow.
Okay, wow.
And then in March I have 2 already set up on the 8th and the 15th. So just looking forward to continuing to grow, continuing to work, and continuing to make things.
Now, in terms of your material, is it available on a website, on Amazon? How can they get your music?
Yes, so if you look me up, LJ the Angel, on anything, Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, Tidal, all of the different streaming services, you can find me there. You can find me on YouTube. So there's a lot of different places where you can find my music. Just type in LJ the Angel and it should pop up.
Well, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Like I said, I don't call it a comeback because I know you've been working, You've been doing different things. And one of the things that I want to ask you, in terms of what you're doing, are there other artists, other poets involved in that? Because I don't know. Is there a community of young poets in New Jersey?
Yes. So with the music, I have been collaborating a lot more recently with people in Newark, with people in different parts of New Jersey, some in South Jersey, some North Jersey. It just depends on when I have time to get out there.
Of course.
To collab with people, but I definitely do that. And I think I mentioned before, there's a lot of other poets that I work with, whether in New Jersey or in PA or wherever they are now. So I have a large community of people that I work with. Not so much, not all of them are Christian artists.
Right.
I want to say I've recently worked with 3 different artists, and 2 of those were Christian artists. So just trying to continue to build that community of finding Christian artists and people who are making music that glorifies God.
Oh man, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And again, when we had you on the program the last time, you were basically doing your songs, and now you tell me now this time you're going to do some poetry. So what I would like to do, just to sort of tease the audience here, maybe let's do a couple of poems, and then we'll continue with our program, and we'll bring you back for what I call poetry and concert. So let's experience some of the poetry of L.J. the Angel.
Yes. So these poems, I have my poetry book here. I don't know.
Look at.
Yeah, this poetry book got me through a lot of college. I remember when I was here last time, I told you guys that I joined Poetry Club to get started with making music
you
and
did say that. Yeah.
learning how to write. And this book was basically the house of all the poetry. So
look out.
this has a lot of things from my early poetry days and my early music making days. So some of them have titles, some of them don't. But, it was just free-form expression. So this first one is called Black People Invented Clout. Black people invented clout with discarded scraps till the fashion industry took the soul out to make money off of our rags. No wonder these stores be sold out. They see our clothes like a cool pass, so we got to take a new route and make something they can't grab. But then they tried to steal our new sounds. Now y'all want to rap. Then they're coming for our hairstyles. Now you want naps, tanning to make their skin brown. Now you want to be black. They tried to chop our roots down. Now they want to act like the N-word is just a word, that slavery don't exist, that racism is dead. I heard it come out of their lips. They make fun of our fists and put them on shirts. They made fun of our gifts till they knew it had worth. The wells run dry when evaporation isn't followed by precipitation. So here's my recommendation. Give back to the ones you stole from intellectual reparations and raise up our next generation to become your replacements.
Ooh.
And that's the first one.
Yeah, and just a little commentary on that particular idea. I remember back in the day they had this film out. It was a film called 10. And it featured an artist, a white woman. Her name was Bo Derek. And they put her hair in braids. And then they said, "This is the Bo Derek look." What? What? Listen to me. Those are cornrows. I saw those when I was coming up. I was 4 or 5 years old. And this white woman, talking about this is the Bo Derek look. No, you. I won't say you stole. I would say you borrowed, not, and that's the funny thing about it, because again, they take from us, I mean, they take the dashiki, there are some African tribes that have different kente cloth, and they stole that, not giving really the authorship to that. And so, yeah, they've been doing that for a long, long time. And so with your poem is really on point.
Thank you.
It's interesting. Bo Derek, even back then, had injection.
No.
Way back then. And so, unfortunate as it is, there's nothing new under the sun. Too many failed to see and realize that was artificial to look just like you express in your piece. You want to be like us. You took from us, but yet still you want to act like us. So something wrong with the picture.
Right.
I think it is, But continue, brother.
Yep.
Yes. This second one, if I can find it. Okay. This second one is called, well, I don't know if this has a name. I didn't write a name at the top. This is my fence I've built with 2 hands, yet it's in your possession. You look at me as less than from the other side. You brought me here to build this fence, paid me nothing. I protested and was told to return home, the same home you snatched me from. Yet I have been here, a stranger to this house, the same house you stole. Now this carpenter and I stand outside the fence I built, both of us seeking compensation for blood-soaked work. You tell us to leave and build houses of our own while you reap the benefits behind the fence. And I would return home if such a thing were possible. For I have been building this fence for so long that those I once called family despise me. I have been here so long that my family is no longer a memory I hold. You stare at me with disgust from a house you didn't build, behind a fence you didn't toil over, and think of me as lesser. When I do die in harsh conditions, you scoff in front of your fireplace, wearing clothes you did not stitch, sipping tea you did not pour, and saying my lack of hard work is why I'm poor. And you, who is rich and rife with greed, would still steal from these the things you do not need. Our houses were large before we showed you kindness, and now these pristine fences serve as reminders.
Oh my goodness,
Wow.
that's deep. And it's so funny because there's a book, an older book, it's called The Debt by Randall Robinson, and it talks about the fact that the Capitol building in Washington was built by slaves. And what happened is that the slaves built the Capitol, and their slave masters were paid. They weren't paid anything.
Yep.
But the slave masters were paid for their work. And a little later on, I'm going to do a song called "When Will We Be Paid for the Work We've Done," and that has a history. But give us one more poem, and we're going to continue on. But again, I like the flow, I like the ideas.
Right.
You know, again, man, this is all definitely in line with our theme. You know, don't call it comeback because we've been doing this for a long, long time, and it is Black History Month. But you know,
Yeah.
for us, every day is Black History Month.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Every day.
This one is called Home, and it was published in a book by my friend Khalisa Hamid. But this is the original where I wrote it down first.
Right.
Family. I guess it's one of those words that holds more weight on nights like this. You know, the ones where it's so cold you feel like you're frozen, when the heavens are no longer shy because no one's outside, so the sky seems more open, where the moon is full so she feeds her son until he's glowing and golden, as well as her daughter, who is solid as rainwater. But this black ice don't feel like slip, it feels like ocean. It feels like waves, it feels like floating. My aunt told me not to walk home because white people live in this neighborhood. The gentrification of fear, appropriation of thug. The irony is, I feel like they're taking our jobs, as if my economy isn't messed up enough, as if my community isn't messed up enough, as if I am not messed up enough. I smile and say I'll be fine. Just hand me that tray of mac and cheese and that container of collard greens.
Wow.
So as I walk past them in the street, I'll flash my pearly white teeth, and maybe they'll see that I have soul by looking at the food I eat. This isn't a poem on race relations. It's a poem about comfort. Comfort that only my mother Moon could make. Comfort like in my music. Comfort like on the couch. Comfort like talking to God and he says it'll all work out. Comfort like Thanksgiving at my grandmother's house.
Woo.
Wow.
I love that.
That's right. So, believe me, you today reading that story, your stuff, your poetry, it remind me of our legacy.
Yes,
You know?
yeah, it is because it takes us back to the point where, you know, you talk about economy.
Yeah.
I read somewhere recently that the economy of Black America is over $1 trillion. If we put all our monies together, if we focus our spending, if we focus our saving, if we focus our building, we could have so much more. But again, we're so fragmented.
Yep.
And there are some of us who keep on thinking that white folks' water is hotter than ours. You know, and I think what's going to happen and what is happening is that we found that there are situations where we may start a business because we are renting from someone else. When they decide that they want to raise the rent or it just asks you to move, that's the end of our business. So I always talk to my brother, and we talked about this quite a bit, is that we got to start building our own buildings, you know, because there's an African proverb that says that, you know, you can't really start to dance with somebody else's violin. Okay? So again, we have to do for self. We have to build for ourselves. And before I go on, I want to go into mind, body, and books. But my brother here, my question to you is, you always talk about building for self, and I know that's a whole big discussion. But what is your idea about that? Why is that so important?
I'm gonna tell you why. It's
Please,
so important, because it's
you
like
can't hold it back.
You know, it's like me staying outside and allowing somebody else to rip me apart. Hold up. These are my pieces. My pieces are part of other pieces. In the African American culture, in the black culture, we are parts of the pieces. We are part of the whole body. So our ancestors, as you look back in legacy, they did what they needed to do under conditions you can't begin to comprehend today. So even today, when I say that, there's no justifiable reason why today, this moment as I speak, that the voices of black folks don't come together, buy a piece of land, build a building. It's cheap. I've been in construction. I'm telling you, it's cheap. Stop buying other people's stuff, no matter how you look at it. That's the issue
It's
today.
not ours.
Young, middle, and seasoned. There's no reason why we can't bring $1, $2, because every element needs everybody's idea, gift, and talent. I don't give you housekeeper. We need your business.
We do.
I don't give you a brain thinker. We need your business. Architect. That's what we're talking about. Architect, design. That's what it's all about. And this young brother here reading his stuff. He's reading today what we experienced yesterday.
That's right. But it's all part of the legacy. And one of the things, a good friend of mine, back in the day, he had a barbershop, and the way it was set up is that he had a barbershop downstairs, and upstairs he lived with his wife. And when the city wanted to do some renovation, they actually brought him out. They brought his building. And then he moved to another building. And I said, you got your barbershop down here, but do you live upstairs? And he said, no. And he showed me, because what happened, the way the building was set up, he had his barbershop downstairs, but there was some other apartments, but the staircase was like straight up like that, you know. He said, I can't be doing that every day. So, he still has the barbershop, but he has another resident. Because what happened, he has a resident in New Jersey, also a resident in Maryland. So again, I said, man, what you had for before was nice. I said, look, I got paid well and I was able to move on. But now this is what I want to do here. This segment of the program is called Mind, Body, and Books. And in this program, I introduce new books. And this book is entitled Believe It, How to Go From Underestimated to Unstoppable. And this is from Jamie Kern Lima, and she's a founder of It Cosmetics, which she actually sold to L'Oreal for, she says here, for $1 billion, and becoming the first female CEO of a brand in L'Oreal's 100-year history. She says here, faced with self-doubt, body doubt, God doubt, down to her last few dollars, and told no one's going to buy makeup from someone who has your body. Jamie reveals for the first time what really went down, how she almost didn't make it, how she learned to trust herself, and the powerful lessons you too can use to go from underestimated to unstoppable. And what I want to do, this is a piece from Success Magazine, where I first really read about this young woman, and it talks about why she wrote this book. And I just want to share this briefly with you. And she says here, Kern Lima says that publishing, believe it, is the most vulnerable thing she's ever done. This is the first time where it's not a product that I'm sharing, it's my heart and soul. She says, the pages delve into her childhood trauma, enormous dreams, seasons of low self-esteem, setbacks, triumphs, professional burnout, her inability to carry her baby to full term, the overwhelming joy of finally becoming a mother of two, and her unwavering faith. She says she wrote the book for anyone who's ever been underestimated, and she hopes the pages filled with these first-person accounts inspire people to overcome their self-doubt and step into their purpose. She now plans to focus her energy on serving others and strives to use her knowledge and connections to unite and empower other female entrepreneurs in order to bring them closer to achieving their dreams. And she says here, the biggest thing that I've learned is that none of us are here to compete with anyone else. She says, I believe we're here to compete with who God made us capable of becoming, and I know I'm not there yet. So she's still on her journey. But the thing is that because success leaves clues, we have her book. And I would suggest that as we go into this time, that for many of us, our book will be our resume, okay? Because that book will tell you all the ups and downs and those type of things as well. And I know my brother, he has 2 books out, and I know there's more books coming. But the thing is that, we have to sort of seize the means of production. You know, there's so many people waiting for somebody to validate them, for someone to put them on. And I'm just saying to you, my audience and my brothers here, that, sometimes we got to put ourselves on. We have to validate ourselves. I don't need nobody telling me that I'm a great writer. I know that within myself. And we have people in the audience who are chiming in. Laretha Foster Bram, she said, profound. She said, still talking from us. We need to focus in unity. We are part of this woven fabric called life. My own competition is me. And this is from Laretha, a young woman that I will be reaching out to you soon to come onto this program, because she does what I call a daily sermonette, where she talks from the Bible, but it's just, she does without notes. She's just speaking from her spirit. And the last thing I want to do before we get back to my brother is I want to look at what we call music as lit. Music is lit. Music is literature. And I have 2 pieces that I just want to share briefly. And, my brother, yesterday it was like 65. Mm-hmm. Now, that's my kind of weather. And I like the fact that the seasons are changing. And sometimes if we look at the seasons as metaphor, we can look at winter and summer and spring and a different thing. Now, this is from a poet named Gil Scott-Heron, mm-hmm. who was one of our contemporaries, sometimes called the father of rap, but he didn't really want to really take that label, because he was more inspired by poets like Langston Hughes and that kind of thing. And he had this song entitled Winter in America. And I want to just read his intro to this song and then read the song. And this is from Gil Scott-Heron. He says here, winter is a metaphor, a term used not only to describe the season of ice, but this period of our lives through which we are traveling. In our hearts, we feel that spring is just around the corner, a spring of brotherhood and united spirits among people of color. Everyone is moving, searching. There is a restlessness within our souls that keeps us questioning, discovering, struggling against a system that would not allow us space and time for fresh expression. Western Icemen have attempted to distort time. We approach winter, the most depressing period in the history of this Western empire, with threats of all shortages and energy crisis. But we as Black people have been a source of endless energy, endless beauty, and endless determination. I have many things to tell you about tomorrow's light, tomorrow's love and light. We will see you in the spring. In the interest of our national security, please help us to carry out our constitutional duty to overthrow the king. Now, this was in 1973. Sound familiar? Yeah. And then this is a song that he wrote entitled Winter in America. And he sings it, and I read, from the Indians who welcomed the pilgrims to the buffalo who once ruled the plains, like the vultures circling beneath the dark clouds, looking for the rain. From the cities that stagger on the coastlines, and a nation that just can't take much more. Like the forest buried beneath the highways, never had a chance to grow. It's winter in America, and all the healers have been killed or forced away. It's winter in America, and ain't nobody fighting because nobody knows what to save. The Constitution was a noble piece of paper. With free society, they struggled, but they died in vain. And now democracy is ragtime on the corner, hoping that it rains, hoping that it rains. And I've seen the robins perched in barren treetops, watching last-ditch races marching across the floor. And the peace signs that melted in our dreams never had a chance to grow, never had a chance to grow. It's winter in America. And all the healers been killed or put in jail. It's winter in America. And ain't nobody fighting because nobody knows what to save. Now, this was in 1973. And here's another brother who was conscious, but he died a drug addict. Okay, this brother was brilliant. You know, he is the one that helped Stevie Wonder bring in the whole idea of Dr. King's birthday as a national holiday. This brother was brilliant. You know, he was a poet, he was an author, he was a singer, he was a musician. If you talk about woke, he was the epitome of woke, but yet he died as a drug addict. Now that blew my mind when I heard that, because again, it's lonely, man, being in the struggle. It's lonely trying to do the things that need to be done, especially when there's so many things working against us, you know? And so what I want to do, I want to end this Music is Lit session by actually sharing a poem. I had the privilege of speaking to a group of senior citizens yesterday. They had their luncheon, and very, very, very nice affair. They invite me to come every year, and I come, and the thing, and I'm very observant, you know, because they had a lot of things going on, and they had about maybe 50 people in the audience, but of the 50 people, there was only 3 or 4 men. And so this says 2 things to me. Number 1 is that women like me. and number 2, we're going to have a discussion on that. As a matter of fact, you know, one of the things that my brother and I talked about, and we're going to get you involved, we want to do a 4 men podcast. 4 men. 4 men, 4 men, but also 4 men speaking among ourselves. So I'm going to tag you for that, you know, because I think you would be a good 3rd man. We need a 4th man, and we're going to do it. So let me just do this so we can get back to your poetry. Now, this song was actually released in 1970, and it was recorded by the Staples Singers, which was Pop Staples and his 3 daughters, and the most famous one being Mavis Staples. And the name of the song is When Will We Be Paid for the Work We've Done? When will we be paid for the work we've done? When will we be paid for the work we've done? We fought in your wars in every land to keep this country free for women, children, and men. But every time we ask for pay or loan, that's when everything seems to turn out wrong. We've been up, called names, shot down, and stoned. Every time we do right, somebody says we're wrong. Tell me, when will we be paid for the work we've done? When will we be paid for the work we've done? When will we be paid for the work we've done? Listen, we worked the country from shore to shore. Our women cooked all your food and washed your clothes. We picked cotton and laid the railroad steel. Worked our hands down to the bones at your lumber mill. Tell me, when will we be paid for the work we've done? When will we be paid for the work we've done? We will ever be proud of my country, 'tis of thee. We'll ever sing out loud, sweet land of liberty, for the work we've done. Why can't we be paid? Oh, when will we be paid? We're given years, and I ask you, when will we be paid for the work we've done? Brother, and I want to do this briefly because I want to get back to my brother's poetry, but what is your thought on...
Let me say this.
He's not pulling...
We invented. Why are you begging somebody else brought you here? You labor when you come together and start to redevelop what your... So again, my honest opinion, forget reparations. Stop begging. So plain and simple, bring your...
One of those. Let us build our... You know, the essence of the program is realizing that a lot of things we talked about are like shorthanded, you know. What we talk about gives me great pleasure. And I present to you
Thank you.
Yes.
First thought that read through my head was, don't look at, I gotta talk right, dress different. I ain't did nothing. They see me sprinting, living right. So I became target practice to see if my book bag looks like a loaded weapon. I say alone. Same.
And I'm walking down the street and whatnot, and I was, just, walking my own business, man. 3 cop cars run up on me, and they said, "Stop." I said, "What?" I'm like, okay.
Right.
And they said, what you doing? I mean, I'm walking home. They said, I want you to come with us. I said, where am I going? And they wanted to bring me there so she could identify if I was the one. And I'm shivering because, I know I ain't done nothing to anybody. And then they bring this white woman out, and I'm looking at her, and she's looking at me, and I'm getting really scared because she got these thick glasses and whatnot. She's almost blind and whatnot. She looked at me and she said, squinting and whatnot. She said, "No, he's going to look like the culprit." Because again, when they say black, they just know that you're a black man, and that thing, I was as a black man.
Sure, the exact same thing what you read and what you just expressed when I got out of service. So my thing is this, because again, this is what's important, to tell the story from where we come from. And then before you go on to my young brother right one, last night walking home. That's your title.
Last night walking home. Ain't that something?
And that fits into every single.
It does, yeah, because I was walking home.
Walking home. Last night walking home. That's your title.
That's right. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Continue, my brother. Yeah. Last night walking home. I like that.
Yeah, this one is it's called Checks and Balances.
Wow.
Ain't no checks and balances for the wealthy, 'cause the wealthy got the biggest checks and balances. Society stares at the flaws in the system as the standard and would die behind protecting them. Our bubble secludes us from the dangers of outside, yet neglects within. The pyramid grows under the worthless emerald deity as the people claw to touch its robes, and the pyramid grows over the corpses of our most precious resources as the people choke. Spotlights land on the few, chosen for their focus on the flaws, for their focus on themselves, for their disobedience of the laws, the same ones that grip my ankles, making genuine obsolete an artificial elite. He sees it all, and even more than all, the reason for this growing feeling of gall, constantly sold life for a price, constantly valuing gold over life. He knows what feels right. Only the corrupted can see the light of a useless emerald deity who grows and grows in height.
Oh my goodness! Wow. It seems the more things change, the more things stay the same. Yeah. Continue, please.
Yeah. Okay. This one also doesn't have a title. I think this one. I look at the world and see that I'm dying. Senseless violence, struggle to exist. At home, treated like minor, immature, never forced to grow. Conflict. I never see the other side of conflict. Always attacked and wrong, wanting to be sorry. 'Cause my intentions were calm, provoked to no end, provoked to end early. I'm doormat, I'm rug, I'm tired. I speak to pages. They repeat my insecurities on loop, never letting me forget about you. Recognizing what you want from me. Graduation, conversation, 9 to 5 at corporation. It seems so easy to achieve, wanting something for someone outside of myself. I believe that this is something for someone who doesn't want to see me breathe. Was tired of being woke, so they sold me a dream I will never get to see.
Oh my goodness. Beautiful. Well, we've come to that time. I mean, we only have about 5 minutes or so. So, my brother, I'm going to give you 2 minutes. And then we're going to get out of here.
I just want to say this. Another title. There's 2, actually. I look at the world. Or, what do I see when looking at the world? That right there. That's it.
That's right.
It's right there. Your titles is right there in the story.
Right.
And so I just want to say this in less than a minute or so.
Yes.
Let me just say this. As we continue to speak, Don't drop
Up the mic.
The mic is your voice.
That's right.
You see,
that's right.
bring it to life. Let us hear. Hear it yourself. Talk to yourself. Because the only person's brain you're going to bust is yours by shouting out, hallelujah, shake it, whatever the case may be. But don't drop the mic. Keep on voicing. Keep on dreaming. Keep on moving forward. That's what's important. Because, again, just like this young brother just shared with his platform, where he's going, he's fulfilling his dreams and visions.
That's right. That's right.
Don't drop the mic. The show is for you. We're here for you.
That's right.
We are continuing to learn. Our voice is continuing to resonate throughout your ears, your mind, body, and soul.
That's right.
Again, don't drop the mic.
That's right. And again, you know, this program is for your mind, your body, and your spirit. You can say mind, body, and soul, whatever you want to put that together. Because again, one of the things we have to understand is that the only way we're going to really get beyond what we're going through right now is our critical thinking. Okay? We have to be able to use our brain in ways that are going to help us develop a community. One of the purposes of this program is to develop a community. And my brother, I thank you for joining us this evening. And as you go back and look at the program, man, you're going to see two men of a certain age looking down on you with big smiles on our face, man. You are a beautiful brother. You are carrying the legacy of poets before you, and poets that will probably be here when you left. But you are really doing a service to us, you know.
And let me say this real
please.
quick.
Yeah.
It just hit me.
Yeah,
because
please.
we always talk about, what will I say to my younger self?
Oh, yes.
This is my younger self.
That's my, yeah.
In the present.
He looks just like me.
And we are his future in the present. So we learn from where we come from.
That's right.
He's learning where he has to go. So that's what's important.
That's very important. Again, and like I said, you know, I know when we talk about the poetry, especially art of poetry, I mean, when you write your poems, you write it in the solitude of your meditation, you know. And I said it before, and I know my brother's going to steal it, though, because I said that poetry is the voice of the soul, you know. And I know in the next couple of weeks, he'll come with a poem talking about poetry. It's a voice. But I'm going to let him have that, though. I'm going to let him have that, you know, unless I can beat him to it.
No, the platform.
Right. I mean, see, that's the way it goes, you know. The first time you use something, you know, as my brother Ron would say, you know, a gentleman I know said, and by the third time, I always say. That's the way it goes. But the thing is that no matter who says it, it's still something important. And so, my brother, I thank you again, my brother. I thank you, you know, because again, man, we're on a journey together, and who knows where it's going to go. But again, we thank you for listening in. And again, like I said, you know, and you know that I don't joke about this, you know, this is your program. And that's why we want you to come on, just like this brother came on, just like we have some women here in March. And so with that said, I want to say good evening to you. We'll be back on Sunday from 5 to 7. This has been Poetically Speaking, the place for the spoken word. And we thank you.